Welcome to the Uniform Inventory Multi-Link main window. In this segment of the tutorial, we will be covering one of the most important and frequently used features of the inventory program. It's the Security Officer's Spreadsheet. Though featured in other segments, here, the discussion involved properly narrating through its many automated functions. Noting daily changes, it is formatted using Excel from Microsoft for greater efficiency. However, it is extremely important that the procedures described in this process be followed without taking standard Excel shortcuts. Now, let's get started.
Seen here is the Security Officer's Excel spreadsheet, designed with very unique functionality and automated features. Seen atop the page, to the upper left, are conveniently positioned buttons created for important efficiency. At the very top, starting on the far left, is the button, Add Officer, used when inputting a new security officer into the system. An example of its actual function will be shown in the Add Officer segment.
After placing the additional security officer and related uniform items onto the sheet, the next step involves organizing the information starting with the officer's last name. This button also will be presented with an example in the Add Officer segment. Seen here, the Print List feature allows the user to go to another page with security officers organized to be printed by account locations. Again, an example will be presented in its own segment.
Next is the Inventory Tracking and Input Station button. When choosing this feature, the current user will visit the page that allows new product to be added to inventory. Like the others, much more will be discussed in its own segment. To the right, we have what is referred to as the B-check button, short for balance check, and possibly considered the most important used button of them all. It is here that any action that involves inventory changes to security officers or in stock will be confirmed as performed correctly. It should be viewed upon completing all actions that involve uniform changes. An example will be shown in another segment. Continuing on, we have what is called the Remove Salvage feature. This button is an extremely crucial part of the exchange process. When a uniform item is returned and considered not fit to be reissued, it is placed in the salvage column of the security officer, like seen here. Afterward, simply click the button, and yes, an in-depth example will be seen in its own segment.
Still moving to the right is the Exit button, created to return the user to the main menu. Moving down one is the button used to see non-usable items slated for destruction, information needed for the monthly audit. And located below is the button that takes the user to the security officer's uniform records.
Moving back to the far left, we have two combo or drop-down boxes. The top contains a list of uniforms that the company currently has in service, and the bottom box contains a list of security officers that the company currently has employed. After identifying a specific officer or inventory items using the combo boxes, the user will click on the Find buttons to locate one or the other, as presented here.
Now, let's view an example of how the function works. First, it is important to note that the user has several options when searching for a specific officer or uniform item.
Though not seen here, in a standard Excel window, will be a scroll bar positioned to the far side of the window, and another placed at the bottom of the page.
Still, for greater efficiency and less potential for critical mistakes, it will be advised to use the automated procedure as follows. Let's begin with the security officer's drop-down list. Simply click on the arrow pointing down. Here, you will note a list of security officers' names. Now, scan the list by moving the mouse downward until locating the person of choice. When found, go to the Find button and click. The security officer's name and associated information should be highlighted as seen. Once locating the desired security officer, we can turn our attention toward locating a specific item, as it pertains to the particular officer. In most cases, this will involve two automated buttons located as seen here. Note, the right button is programmed to navigate the spreadsheet to the right or forward. The left button is programmed to navigate the spreadsheet to the left or backward. Remember, when using these buttons, a designated point will be set as seen here, and the spreadsheet will position itself without constant maneuvering. This designated point is extremely important to the effective movement throughout the entire spreadsheet and should be noted at all times. Again, please remember, always ensure or touch the cell in the original items issued column before using the automated right or left buttons. Now, let's begin by locating the spreadsheet that contains the progressive style of female slacks. Keep in mind, however, when using the security officer's drop-down list, the uniform selection as presented will always start with progressive male blazers or the item placed first in the inventory database.
Now, let's begin by clicking to move to the right. Seen here, we have the progressive female charcoal grey slacks. Now, let's return going backward, viewing the previous items. If the user continues to move backward, going beyond the first item listed in the database, an error message will appear, prompting them to click the End button to remove the message and cease in their attempt to continue in that direction.
Now, let's visit the Uniform Items list. This feature is often used when the user's main purpose is to locate a single specified item, as it pertains to a particular security officer or several in addition. Again, simply click the down arrow. As noted here, once the list is displayed, move down to the desired item, which in this case, is a standard baseball cap. Now, return to the top of the page, and click the appropriate Find button. As you can now see, the item was located very quickly. At this point, simply locate the name of the security officer by scanning the list on the far left.
Once entering the desired information, it is important to recognize that the user can continue scrolling for new uniforms and other items from this point as well.
Simply move the mouse over to the original column and touch to highlight.
Now, go to the navigating buttons discussed earlier and click to move in the desired direction. When finished, you can return to the starting point by simply clicking on the security officer's Find button, located next to the combo box. Note here that the highlighted point returned to its designated position in the original column.
Next, we're going to review what is referred to as the L-Change feature,
an abbreviation for the last visit for change of uniforms. Simply click, and a new page will quickly appear that allows the user to update the day of last action regarding the uniform exchanges or returns, as noted here.
It is very important to remember that before clicking the Update button, the designated cell must always be highlighted as seen, and this can be performed either manually or automatically depending on the user's preceding actions.